As I strolled through the quiet streets of my hometown, I found myself lost in contemplation. The air was heavy with the scent of blooming flowers, and the gentle hum of the city served as a backdrop to my thoughts. It was in these moments of reflection that I often pondered the human condition, our beliefs, and the societal norms that shape our lives. One subject that had long intrigued me was the shifting perceptions of masturbation, a topic often shrouded in shame and secrecy, yet deeply woven into the fabric of our collective history. The discourse surrounding masturbation has always been fraught with moral judgments and cultural taboos. From ancient times to the present day, the act of self-pleasure has been both vilified and misunderstood, its significance oscillating between sin and science, pathology and liberation. In the past, particularly in the context of religious doctrines, masturbation was often condemned as a grave moral failing. The Church, wielding immense influence over the lives of its followers, preached that self-gratification was a transgression against divine law. It was seen as a corruption of the soul, a gateway to further moral decay. The teachings of early Christian theologians like St. Augustine and Thomas Aquinas cast a long shadow, perpetuating the notion that masturbation was inherently sinful. The 18th and 19th centuries brought with them a new wave of medical discourse, yet the stigma remained. Physicians of the time, such as Samuel Tissot, argued that masturbation led to a plethora of ailments, from physical debilitation to mental instability. This era saw the rise of the so-called masturbatory insanity and the promotion of various treatments and devices designed to prevent the act. The underlying message was clear: self-pleasure was dangerous and needed to be controlled. Fast forward to the 20th century, and the narrative began to shift. The advent of psychoanalysis, spearheaded by figures like Sigmund Freud, introduced a more nuanced understanding of human sexuality. Freud posited that masturbation was a natural part of sexual development, a perspective that gradually started to chip away at the entrenched stigma. The sexual revolution of the 1960s and 1970s further dismantled these old taboos, promoting a more open and accepting view of human sexuality, including the practice of masturbation. Despite these advancements, the shadow of past beliefs lingers. Even today, in an era where sexual liberation and body positivity are celebrated, the topic of masturbation can still provoke discomfort and controversy. The echoes of historical condemnation are not easily silenced, and many individuals continue to grapple with feelings of guilt and shame. As I walked, I recalled a conversation I had with my friend Lydia, a therapist who specialized in sexual health. We had met in a cozy cafe, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee enveloping us as we spoke. Lydia had a way of talking about difficult subjects with both compassion and candor, and our discussions were always enlightening. "James," she said, leaning in slightly, "the beliefs we hold about masturbation are deeply rooted in our collective psyche. They are shaped by centuries of religious, cultural, and medical discourse. But it's important to remember that these beliefs are not immutable. They evolve as society evolves." She went on to share a story from her practice, a real-life scenario that highlighted the enduring struggle many people face. One of her clients, a young man named David, had been raised in a strict religious household where masturbation was considered a grievous sin. Despite his modern surroundings and access to information, David was haunted by the teachings of his youth. He felt immense guilt every time he indulged in self-pleasure, convinced that he was committing a grave wrongdoing. Lydia worked with David over several months, helping him to reframe his understanding of masturbation. Through their sessions, he began to see it not as a moral failing, but as a natural and healthy aspect of his sexuality. It was a slow and often painful process, but eventually, David started to shed the weight of his ingrained guilt. He learned to embrace his body and his desires without shame. As Lydia recounted David's journey, I was struck by the parallels between his personal struggle and the broader historical context. The journey from condemnation to acceptance is a difficult one, marked by resistance and fear, yet also by resilience and hope. In reflecting on these stories, I realized that the question of masturbation is not merely about the act itself, but about the beliefs and values we attach to it. It is about how we navigate the complex interplay between tradition and progress, how we reconcile the teachings of the past with the realities of the present. The path forward lies in education and open dialogue. We must continue to challenge outdated notions and promote a more inclusive and understanding perspective on human sexuality. This means creating spaces where individuals can discuss their experiences without fear of judgment, where they can learn about their bodies and their desires in a healthy and supportive environment. The future of our society hinges on our ability to embrace change, to move beyond the confines of historical prejudices and towards a more enlightened and compassionate understanding of ourselves and each other. Masturbation, as a natural and integral part of human sexuality, deserves to be understood and accepted without the burdens of shame and guilt. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the pavement, I felt a sense of clarity. The journey of masturbation through time is a testament to our evolving understanding of human nature. It is a reminder that while the past may shape us, it does not define us. We have the power to forge new paths, to create a future where every aspect of our humanity is celebrated and respected. In the end, the story of masturbation is not just about an act. It is about our ongoing quest for self-knowledge and acceptance. It is about the courage to confront our deepest fears and the strength to embrace our truest selves. And in that journey, we find not only liberation, but also the profound beauty of what it means to be human.